What do you think the biggest challenge is to a business in generating revenue today?
There's probably a lot, but I would say it's probably, I have kind of two answers to it, right? One's the simple, one's a little bit more obvious. It's really making sure that you're tightly aligned on how you're going to be spending your effort and time. I think very often what we see is sales is doing one thing, marketing is doing another, and they're disconnected. And you would think that sales and marketing alignment story that's been around for decades at this point, we would have figured it out. No, we haven't. We still have conflict. And honestly, it typically goes down to the way we're metriced, right? Metrics and compensation drives behavior. And so if you're not aligned on those key pieces, from a compensation perspective, if I can just check boxes and hit my target, and I don't care about how you're doing sales or vice versa, right? Sales isn't incented to pick up things from marketing, or they're not seen as the most valuable thing. You're gonna fall flat. You're gonna have conflict as you go through that. So I think it's really driving that sales and marketing line. I was doing some fractional CMO work about a year ago, and I was working at a cybersecurity company. On the website, they had 8 different products listed. And so I was kind of getting going. I was like, great, let's talk through these. And hey, let's focus on this one first. Like, which one is your sales team most incented to sell? Right? I want sales to pick up your leads and think that they're the best thing since sliced bread. They should want to start every week with what marketing's giving them. So what's the one that's going to do that, right? Where they get paid the most? Well, actually, they're only compensated for 2 of these. Like, okay, until like number 1 goes off. How do you go from these other 6 to then those 2 that sales is going to pick up? Well, we don't. So we're wasting money. We're wasting effort. We're asking sales to follow up on things they're not compensated on for 6 out of 8 different products we have listed on our website. And this is just a year. And this is 21 it was a hyper growth unicorn cybersecurity company. Like, they should know what they're doing. And we're still seeing that. And so that's where that alignment piece to me in terms of driving revenue is, if we might be tangentially going in the same direction, but we're not working together, right? As we go through that. And so our vectors are off. And that's why that alignment really matters and continues to matter today.
And Bill, what do you see as the biggest challenge to organizations generating revenue?
Yeah, I think that, I think everything Jeff said is something that I see on a very regular basis. I do think that oftentimes companies have muddled messaging where different people at the company have different ideas about what it is that makes them valuable and makes them different. And so there's a lack of unity on that. And that leads to people out in the marketplace not really understanding what that company is all about and what makes it valuable. So I do think there's great value in deciding what is our message, what is the thing that should be underlying everything. One small thing, and this isn't by any means, the problem for companies, but I think it is a small problem that I've seen. Companies internally, when they have a success, they don't celebrate it in a public way, in a way that could actually have real reach. And the example for me is LinkedIn. If something gets posted on LinkedIn, a company has some good mention in the press, or they win an award or something like that, you might think that all the employees would immediately give it a like and a comment and so on, but that never happens. And it doesn't matter how many times a person at a company says, listen, guys, we got to do this. They just don't do it. So there's an interesting company called MarketBeam that I learned about through Jim Nichols, who you've spoken to, Ted, which actually automates that. And I think that's really smart. And Jim said, when you use that, it like triples the ROI. It triples the number of people who visit your website. The reach of platforms like LinkedIn, I think, is extraordinary. And I think that it's not the reason that there's a problem, but I think it is an opportunity that I think a lot of companies miss.
Hi, Ted Wolf here. I want to thank you for joining us for this Implementors video. The Implementors podcast is presented by Guidewise, where we, along with our vetted member community, recognize that ideas are easy, but implementation is hard. To learn more about getting things done with Guidewise, please visit us at guidewise.io. And to conquer your implementation struggles, please like and share this video and subscribe to our channel. Happy implementing.